Welcome back to Cold Opal. We've got three brand new opals to cut today. Um, all Boulder opal. I know what you're thinking. This makes a mess, and our system is already kind of a little bit messy because of the rocks that we use to kind of break in the wheels. So this is a good time as any to get get at some of these ones that might be a little bit more messy. The first one is got a lot of veins of opal running through it that is non-color bearing opal. We're going to hope that that has something more interesting inside there. There's a couple of inklings here and there that lead us to believe that maybe that would work out. So this one will kind of be our first shot at this. If this doesn't turn out, I wouldn't be surprised. The next one is another one that is going to be a bit of a we're going to have to see and see how it goes. It's got nice color flashes rolling through there. The problem is it's the edge of a nodule. It's got that peanut butter, stuff running through it. It could be one of those stones that we just can't get it to face right because of the incongruities of the material. But we'll give it a go. We'll see what we can get out of this one. But we might have to take this at another angle and salvage it if it doesn't face up on the main face, or what I think is the main face. Um, Third one will be kind of a no-brainer. It's got right at the tip of this. It's got some nice gem quality opal. There's a little bit of ironstone on top of it. I think that will clear out nicely. As far as I can tell, that looks like it doesn't run very deep. And then we're going to just take most of the stuff off the back because we don't really need that. And this one shouldn't be too difficult to just get a rub. We don't know how this one is going to, play when we put that tip on the wheel. Is this going to shatter that and it's just going to take the whole thing with it? I'm hoping we can do it gently enough and not lose any of that, any of the good stuff. So it should be interesting to see how these turn out and see if we at the end have what we get one rub, you get two, three. You never know. We'll find out.
Okay, so we get started here on the first stone. Um, it didn't look super promising to begin with, and there was, a little bit more that we could see inside there. But I'm not so certain that it's gonna be of gem quality, but it'll still be an interesting specimen if nothing else. Um, I skip ahead to the next stone, um, and this I kind of thought it was one of these that kind of got separated from the the majority of the gem opal, and it was kind of like, oh, what's left here is kind of like little bitty flakes on the surface of what this is. But this has more, as you can see here inside there, that is pretty intriguing. And I was able to get out a couple of um, pretty deep sandy pockets. Now, what we're seeing here is really like that was pretty exciting back there. Um, and maybe that little area there that we saw where it was really deep bright and red is worth exploring further. I haven't cleaned these stones up yet to take a look at them and get a light on them. Maybe that'll give us a little bit more information then. Um, but yeah, these I go back to the first stone here and do a little bit more work on that. Try to clean up some of the edges. There's a lot that needed to be done for that first stone. It was pretty thick and it had a lot of material to work through. This wheel is still fast. It's really fast. So even though it's a 220, it probably is cutting more towards like a 120 or even a 100 grit. Um, and the final stone here, it was pretty easy to get the back off of there, and I kind of trimmed up one of the edges that had a little overhang of opal that was pretty tricky, and it turned out just fine. And in the end there, we can see we have a nice little rub. We may go and do a little bit more on that one.
Okay, well, we have some rubs. The first stone didn't end up being anything, so that one we might put in a pile to do a little bit more work later, see if there's just any chance that there's anything in there. Um, it may be we just didn't get down in there far enough, so we can do some more work on that one. Um, the second one turned out to be the most interesting one of the bunch. It is showing directional color that's really bright, that's really got the full range of color flash that is going on there, and we think that we might take this aside and do some, I don't know what you'd call it, maybe mini slabbing with that stone and kind of get some slices of it instead of trying to take away the other parts of the stone to get at what might be good or what might be a little bit better than what we have now. Maybe we'll kind of amateurize our risk a little bit and see if we can get maybe even 2 or 3 different stones out of that one instead of just cutting away at what is, some of it is good opal on the outsides of it that we don't want to lose just to access more of what might be the better part of the stone inside there. So I'll put a link to the video that we'll do for that one at the end of this video. The third one, it turned out to be a nice little rub. Um, I think what we might do is just finish this off on using the flex shaft, and it has a little bit more on top that we can take out and see if we can get past that last of the sand. If we can, then great. If not, we will have taken the risk at least. So, kind of disappointed in the first one. Not super surprising though. That was kind of what we thought going into it, whereas like this one might not be anything at all. Because all we were seeing is kind of like that dark glass type of opal in veins running through there, which there's no guarantee that that is going to be anything more than what it started off as. And that's kind of what we found out getting further into there. The second one actually ended up being a little bit better than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was kind of just the end of the nodule where they had broken these little things apart and they had the gemmy part here and that's where all the good stuff was. And then they had the part that came off of that and that's what I thought we were cutting. So that there was anything inside there, that's all bonus for us. So that was not bad. And then the third one, it ended up being just kind of as easy and straightforward as we thought it would be. And I'll go ahead and finish this one up, and you'll be able to get to see this one as a finished stone right in this video. Stick around.
All right, so I get right into it here with the black 280, the larger tip. Then we're into the brown, that's the 600. As you can see, the stone at this point in time starts to slip quite a bit. It's got so many angles on it that it's really hard to get a good grip on this thing. I could have gone ahead and put this on a dop stick and done it that way, but with a stone like this, I kind of wanted to make sure that the whole thing was polished. I could have, repolished the back of it, you know, but so I just went ahead and struggled through and tried to get this one to clean up as um, nicely as possible. The face of this thing, it did come out a little bit more when I was on it with the Black Nova. So, I mean, in the end, we've got a nice stone here that someone could use for. Um, you could use this as a pendant stone, a small pendant stone, or you could put this in a ring, or I'm not even sure. It's pretty nice though, and I'm happy to have some decent results. and I was glad I was able to share it with you guys here. And I hope everybody enjoyed watching the video, and I'll put the link to the second video in the end of this one, so you'll be able to check that one out when it's released. Thanks for watching.